What is going on, mi gente? Welcome back to another one of them episodes here at Nativision. Beep, 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 beep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Natalie, your host and former sports photographer. Here, here we have one of these. This topic is not really talked about. It's one of those, if there's common sense, there's probably no common sense when it comes to etiquette and just people on and off the field, especially in pro sports. I don't think a lot of people talk about it enough. I don't know. I mean, you should know the rules and the of each sport as well, but as well as the etiquette. And etiquette is very, very, very important. That's what I think. I think etiquette is very important. And etiquette goes along with being professional, right? Being professional and being mature. Okay, that's huge, huge, huge. And if you're not those things, people won't want to hire you and people will know your etiquette, okay? Because it's a small world after all. Okay, baby. Okay, so here we are. Yes, we are going to talk about sports photographer etiquette. So for number one, we have, and this is the biggest, this is huge, and this is the first thing they teach you in sports, or just if you're dealing with a high profile celebrity athlete, someone high profile that you want to fangirl, do not fangirl the athletes. What does that mean? Don't ask for a selfie. Don't ask for an autograph. Don't say you're a fan. Don't say, don't celebrate in the field. Like if something happens like to your team that you're shooting, do not celebrate, do not cheer, do not high five. You are stripped away from that privilege the moment you start you are hired. You are literally stripped away from being a fan, and you are no longer a fan. Okay, when you're in the job, you are there for a job, and your job is to photograph these people. And for me, I would almost like, just to like hype myself down, I would always, like, before like a game or whoever I'm shooting, I'm like, they're just a person and they're just a human being just like you and me. And so you have to detach them to who they really are so you can focus on what you're actually doing and you are hired to do. An example of not proper etiquette, and I'm going to say cheering, is, this is kind of controversial. Okay, we're going to say, I don't know, Kevin Fitzgibbons. He is a 20-year-old videographer. This was last year in 2023. He was a videographer shooting for the Miami Dolphins, and he got his credentials suspended for 4 seasons after Tyreek Hill made a touchdown and grabbed his phone and did a backflip as Kevin started jumping up and down and cheering. People may say is harsh on the media, but this is the prime example that the NFL don't play, and this is a rule that is very, very enforced, especially when it's broadcast live in live television. To see one of the professional videographers, whatever, photographers, and do that. So they suspended them for 4 years or 4 seasons. So this is the prime example of that rule that I said. You are not, yes, it's harsh, that they're like, whatever, they suspended him. But for me, I'm like, yeah, but he still cheered and, high-fived, and he was basically a fan. This is what I'm talking about. He fangirled, even though it was technically not his fault because Tyreek Hill grabbed his phone. And also, I didn't know that Tyreek Hill and this videographer were friends off the field. And that's why he probably did it. So it was technically not his fault, but he still, cheered. And the NFL said he should have been more disciplined. I agree. And it does, again, like I said, it looks unprofessional and immature. And yes, is he 20 years old? Would you be tempted to do the same thing? Yes, but still you have a job to do. This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Your job is to film or photo shoot, whatever, the game. So try not to do that. I know people sometimes the league pick and chooses like what goes and what doesn't go. Sure, but this is what I was talking about, a prime example of this case. And next we have come very early. So depending on who you are, what kind of photographer you are, videographer, mostly photographer, I would go 2 to 4 hours earlier. And yeah, it depends what kind of photographer you are. If you're an assistant, if you need to set up your remotes, if you need to around the stadium, if you need to get your credentials, you need to make sure to set up your gear, you need to make sure everything's in place. You need to, if you're visiting, you don't know the stadium, you want to get to know the stadium. So that's a hot minute. Like you need hours in preparation and you need to get there very early. It's not even get there on time. I'm like, no, we're there very early. And if you're the staff photographer, they're there probably at, 8 a.m. for a game that starts at probably like 2. So time is no joke in these games, and you always want to be prepared. And and you want to get the pregame shots as well. You're probably taking pictures of the locker room. If you're the staff photographer, you're probably taking pictures of the athletes coming into the stadium. They're getting, they're doing their warm-ups right before the game. All of these stuff you have to take in consideration, and that is etiquette. No photographer will get there just on time, because guess what? That's my personal favorite, baby. If you are on time, you're late. If you're early, you are on time. Okay, let's get with it. All right. Next we have, there is assigned seating in pro sports depending on your sport. I think football, you sit in the grass. I see soccer, you have seats. Basketball, I think you sit on the floor too. It just depends, but you still have like the assignment, like this is where you're going to stay, and you're going to stay in one place and you do not move. Okay. As well as you're also sitting right next to your fellow photographer. And what do we have? We have very expensive, big telephoto lenses. Okay. So, I mean, don't get in each other's way. Like, that's just basic common sense. This is what I'm talking about. But yes, don't move from your seat. Depending on your sport, you probably just move in halftime and go to the other side. It depends on your sport. But yes, there is assigned seating. So be kind to one another. Next we have pushing and shoving. Do not push and shove. But just like we are shooting sports, we are also competitive. And it also depends on your sport too. Some you don't have to. Like baseball, you're very alone. But especially maybe for football and soccer at the beginning, there might be, at the end of the game, especially in football, we are rushing to take pictures of all the quarterbacks shaking hands, or the coaches shaking hands, or how they're going to react. So we are literally running, and perhaps pushing and shoving. So, you know, you don't have to do that, but it happens. But that's what I'm talking about, like being professional, being unprofessional. Have I been pushed and shoved? Absolutely. But what you guys don't see, I am also a full about 5'9". So it's kind of hard to push me. So, and I'm really also willing to give it back. So don't, just try not to, because it's just unprofessional. Like, what are we doing, guys? So as much as you want to push and shove, I mean, I guess, like, if instances like that, it's like everybody is trying to get the picture. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as we're taking pictures of sports, we're all trying to get the best photo. So, yes, we might get a little aggressive, but there's no need for that, or people may get in your way. So just beware of that. Try to be as professional as possible. So yes, next we have, don't take advantage of your power, credentials, and access that you have to professional athletes. Okay? So this goes, I mean, I haven't seen or heard it while I was there shooting, but it happens. So that means a couple things. So don't ask for their number. Don't ask them out on a date. Don't flirt with them. You're there to do a job, and your job is to take pictures of them. Okay? And that is all. Your job, just because your job is unique and high profile, and you have very easy, cool access to these athletes and players, depending what it is, or in this case, athletes. But say you're taking pictures of models in bikinis and you're admiring them a little too much, that makes them feel uncomfortable. So be professional. At the end of the day, you have a job to do. Do your job and be as professional as you can. I don't know why. I mean, I guess a lot of people legit ask me, like, why don't you just date the athletes? And I was like, no, because I want a job and this is my career. Like, I will never do that. Like, but it happens. Like, it happens, sure, but I'm not there to get someone's number. I'm there to do my job. So, yeah, don't take advantage of your power, credentials. Okay? And those are, for the most part, what I can come up with. Let me know if I missed anything. Yes, so click like, click share, subscribe, leave a comment, please. I want your feedback. Okay. That's all for today, and not the out, baby.